It may come as a surprise to learn that one of the world's most famous painters, Vincent van Gogh, only sold one painting during his lifetime. He and other now-renowned artists like him were broke for most of their lives, only to see their artwork make millions after they died. On the other hand, some artists have had the opposite fate. They find what they are good at and make a fortune with it while they are alive. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at 10 artists who suddenly got rich. Welcome to Coffeepo.com, where you learn finance every day. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please do, as we bring valuable information every day to keep you informed and updated about finances. 1. Banksy. As one of the world's most famous and elusive street artists, Banksy's work has become some of the most sought-after and expensive pieces in the art world. His work often addresses political and social issues, and his use of stencils and humor has won him a wide following among art lovers and the general public alike. One of Banksy's most famous works is Girl with Balloon, a painting of a young girl reaching for a heart-shaped balloon. The painting sold for $1.4 million at a Sotheby's auction in October 2018. But the real story began after the sale. As the new owner was celebrating their purchase, a hidden paper shredder inside the frame of the painting started shredding the painting, signifying how the world is okay with spending several million dollars on a piece of art. However, the paper shredder got stuck, only shredding the painting halfway instead of entirely. This mishap ended up only increasing the art piece's value. The buyer renamed it Love is in the bin and sold it at the Sotheby's Contemporary Art Sale on the 14th of October 2021 for $29.5 million, making it one of the most expensive pieces of artwork ever sold. And with it, catapulted Banksy to new heights of fame and success. 2. Damien Hirst. Damien Hirst is an artist who focuses on death, which is the central theme in most of his works. His artwork is sometimes creepy, but it is also striking enough to grab your attention and keep it. Because of the effect he is able to bring in, he has many buyers who want a piece of his creative genius. Although Hirst had been making more than a decent living off of his art throughout his life, he suddenly got rich overnight on the 15th and 16th of September 2008. On those days, Hirst did something that artists didn't really do at the time. He bypassed selling his art to a gallery and sold his artwork directly to the public with his exhibition called Beautiful Inside My Head Forever. During those 2 days alone, he made $198 million, making him a multi-millionaire overnight. 3. Jeff Koons. Jeff Koons is an artist who creates balloon animal sculptures made entirely out of metal. His most famous sculpture, a giant metal balloon dog, was sold for $58.4 million at the Christie's New York auction house in 2013. This made him a very wealthy man. Jeff's balloon animal sculptures are incredibly lifelike and realistic. He captures the essence of what a balloon animal is supposed to be, while also adding his own unique twist. His sculptures are often quite large, making them impossible to miss. Although Jeff was already a well-known artist before the sale of his balloon dog sculpture, it was this particular piece that made him an overnight sensation. His work continues to be highly sought after, and he has since become one of the most famous and successful artists in the world. 4. David Choe. David Choe was never the type of person to crave the spotlight. In fact, he much preferred staying in the shadows and doing his own thing. So when he was approached by Sean Parker, the president of Facebook, to paint murals around the Facebook headquarters, Choe was hesitant, but Parker offered Choe a choice that he couldn't refuse: $60,000 in cash or $60,000 worth of company stock. Choe went with the latter, and boy was he glad he did. When Facebook went public, the stock he owned was valued at a whopping $200 million, making Choe overnight millionaire. Now, Choe is using his newfound wealth to give back to the graffiti community that helped him get to where he is today. He started a foundation that provides resources and opportunities to aspiring graffiti artists. He's also working on a book that will chronicle his journey from being a graffiti artist in the shadows to a millionaire philanthropist. Who knows, maybe his story will inspire others to chase their dreams and take a few risks along the way. 5. Gerhard Richter. German artist Gerhard Richter is best known for his blur paintings, in which he uses a squeegee to scrape paint around the canvas, creating a hazy, dreamlike effect. While some viewers find Richter's work confusing or even frustrating, others see it as a clever way to make everything in the painting equally important and unimportant. Richter's blur paintings have certainly caught the attention of the art world, In 2020, one of his pieces, Abstractus Bilbao, sold for an impressive $27.6 million. While Richer's work may not be everyone's cup of tea, there's no denying that he is a talented and successful artist. 6. Jasper Johns. Jasper Johns is one of the most important artists of the 20th century. His work has influenced a wide range of artists who have come after him, and his impact on the art world is still being felt today. Jasper Johns is best known for his work in the field of pop art, which he is credited with helping to create. His most famous work, Flag, is a simple painting of the American flag that is considered to be one of the most important works of American art. Flag was so influential that it is still being sold for millions of dollars today, more than 50 years after it was first created. Jasper Johns was born in 1930 in Augusta, Georgia. He grew up in a small town in South Carolina, and he was always interested in art. He began to experiment with different mediums and styles, and he quickly developed a unique and recognizable style. Jasper Johns moved to New York City in the early 1950s, and it was there that he began to gain recognition as an artist. His first solo show was held in 1958, and it was a huge success. Jasper Johns continued to experiment with different styles and mediums throughout his career, and he produced a large body of work that is widely considered to be some of the most important and influential art of the 20th century. He died in 2019 at the age of 89. 7. Anish Kapoor. When people think of art, they often imagine it as something that exists in a separate world from their own, something that only exists for people who are really into art. But there are some artists whose work breaks through this barrier and becomes a part of the everyday world. One of these artists is Anish Kapoor, who is best known for his public sculptures. Kapoor was born in India in 1954, but he moved to London in the 1970s to study art. It was there that he began to experiment with different materials and forms, and he soon became known for his innovative and often large-scale sculptures. One of his most famous sculptures is the Cloud Gate, better known as the Bean, in Chicago. The Bean is a giant mirrored sculpture that reflects the cityscape around it. It's become one of the most popular tourist attractions in Chicago, and it's been estimated to have generated around $23 million in tourism revenue for the city. But Kapoor's work isn't just popular with tourists, it's also highly respected by the art world. He's won numerous prestigious awards, and his sculptures have been shown in some of the most famous museums and galleries in the world. In 2003, one of his sculptures, simply titled Untitled, sold at auction for $3.8 million, a record price for a work by a living artist at the time. 8. Andrew Vickery. In an interview, Andrew Vickery once said, "I'm the king of painters. I'm the best painter in the world." And he's not wrong. For decades, he's been making elaborate paintings featuring the wealthiest, most famous people in the world. His paintings have sold for millions of dollars, and in 2001, Prince Khaled of Saudi Arabia bought $43 million worth of his paintings, making him one of the richest painters in Britain. Vickery was born in Wales in 1936 and moved to London in his 20s to pursue a career in painting. He quickly gained notoriety for his portraits of celebrities and politicians, often painting them in lavish settings. He also became well known for his nude portraits, which caused some controversy. But Vickery didn't care about the criticism. He was just focused on making his art. In addition to his portraits, Vickery also painted landscapes and still lifes. He was a highly skilled painter, and his work was in high demand. He traveled all over the world to paint, and his paintings can be found in private collections and museums all over the world. Vickery lived a lavish lifestyle, and his wealth allowed him to buy a number of properties, including a yacht and a private island. He was known for his parties, which were often attended by the rich and famous. 9. Takashi Murakami. Takashi Murakami is one of the most influential and well-known artists of our time. His work is often on the riskier side, but it is this quality that has made him so successful. In 2008, his piece My Lonesome Cowboy sold for an incredible $13.5 million at Sotheby's New York auction. Today, his work is worth even more. Murakami's work is characterized by its use of bright colors and flat, two-dimensional surfaces. He is often referred to as the master of super flat art. His work often contains elements of pop culture, and he has been credited with popularizing the use of anime and manga styles in fine art. Murakami was born in Tokyo in 1962. He earned his PhD from the Tokyo University of the Arts in 1986 and his MPhA from the same school in 1988. He then moved to the United States, where he studied at the Otis College of Art and Design in Los Angeles. Murakami has had solo exhibitions at some of the most prestigious museums in the world, including the Museum of Contemporary Art, Los Angeles, the Brooklyn Museum, and the Tate Modern. In 2010, he became the first living Japanese artist to have a solo exhibition at the Palace Museum in Beijing. 10. Antony Gormley. Antony Gormley is an artist who is known for making bold statements with his art. He is not afraid to take risks, and his art installations are often massive and breathtaking. His art installation Event Horizon was particularly striking and thought-provoking. One of the models used in his installation, Angel of the North, sold for nearly $5 million. Overall, Antony Gormley has been extremely successful, amassing a fortune of over $60 million. That's all for today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to hear more videos from our channel, subscribe and make sure to turn on the bell icon.